Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I am going to tell you some of the very important tips and tricks about communication. How you can be an effective communicator. Each communication experience, verbal and non-verbal, is an opportunity to demonstrate your willingness to work with others. Appropriate words and actions make you appealing to strangers and open social and professional doors that lead to friendships, employment, and personal growth. It is very important for you to understand the three basics of communication. Number first is that communication is a two-way process. Number second is the communication can be intentional or unintentional. Number third is that communication occurs when the interpretation does not match the original intent. In the two-way communication process, people share meaning, verbally and non-verbally. You are familiar with verbal messages, but keep in mind every gesture you make, the clothes you wear, or even the way you sit in the class communicates a message about you. Communication can be intentional or unintentional. And finally, it is important to understand that while the goal of communication is to share accurate meaning, communication occurs whether it is interpreted correctly or incorrectly. When the meaning is interpreted incorrectly, it is called miscommunication, but it is communication nevertheless. Your use of language relays cultural, social, educational, and technical competence to others. It is increasingly important to choose words carefully when speaking as well as when sending messages electronically. To communicate effectively for life, you must first understand the importance of studying communication, what is communication process, types of communication, and the basic communication principles. Why is communication important? We communicate to initiate or improve relationships, get things we want, negotiate the best price, conduct businesses, meet people, function in teams, and learn new things. The more effective we are, the better the outcome. Good, solid communication skills allow us to move through life with self-confidence and a feeling of accomplishment. Communication is an ongoing process. In order to be successful, people must effectively share meaning. But this goal is not always possible. Sharing meaning implies a person must comprehend the intended meaning of the other person's use of language. In order to understand communication, we must look at the parts that make up an interaction. Each interaction consists of communicators, messages, a channel, circumstances, feedback, and in some instances, noise. A good communicator analyzes each of these parts to make the best possible choices in each communication interaction. If you have a bad communication experience, you can analyze what the cause might be. Was it me? Was it the other person? Was it the channel? Was the message worded incorrectly? Was there noise? The answers to these questions will help pinpoint a potential problem and enable possible corrections. You can also begin to think ahead of future interactions. Be proactive about this. Thinking about problems that occur in communication is the first step in becoming a better communicator. So communicators. Communicators are the people involved in a verbal or non-verbal exchange. Each communicator simultaneously sends and receives messages. During a lecture, for example, a professor sends both non-verbal, such as smiles, hand gestures, eye contact, and verbal messages, such as the lecture material. At the same time, each student sends messages to the professor by maintaining eye contact, writing notes, or yarning. Everyone is communicating, whether they intend to or not. Effective communicators are aware that they intentionally and unintentionally send and receive messages. They constantly monitor and reflect on their verbal and non-verbal behavior as well as on the behavior of others around them as they fine-tune their skills. And after this, the messages. Communicators deliver both verbal and non-verbal messages. The process begins with a thought in a person's head. The person encodes the thought into words or actions. Encoding means a communicator reviews all of the available symbols or actions that could represent the thought. The person then selects a channel to send words or actions to other communicators. The other communicator receives the words or actions and decodes them. Decoding means thinking about the received symbols or actions, applying meaning to them, and making them into a useful thought for an appropriate response. The more effective we are at encoding our thoughts, the more likely other communicators will decode messages correctly. This results in a better chance for shared meaning. It is important for communicators to be fully aware that other communicators could decode the message with a meaning that was not intended by the sender. And after the message, the channel. Messages must go through a medium to get from one communicator to another. The different mediums are called channels. Each channel targets a different sensory receptor that must be chosen appropriately to accomplish your goal. Channels include a cell phone, pager, handheld devices, computer, newspaper, radio, television, book, notes, sound system, social media, and face-to-face interaction. Technology has increased the number, reach, and the speed of channels exponentially. When thinking about channels, remember every communication situation necessitates an appropriate channel choice. As you choose a channel for certain communication events, think about the purpose of the communication and the consequences of that choice. And after channel, circumstances or situation. Circumstances refer to the context of the situation and to the fundamental nature of the communicator. The context in which communication occurs also contributes to the meaning of the message. What you say in one situation could be completely inappropriate in another. For example, you and your friends feel comfortable using jokes and calling each other names. In the context of your friendship, you are all satisfied with this banter. However, you may feel uncomfortable or be offended if someone from outside your group makes the same type of comments to you. Analyzing your circumstances, including your own fundamental nature and the context of the situation, allows you to decode messages effectively. Reflection about past communication choices will help you think carefully about the future interactions. And now the feedback. Feedback is the response one communicator gives to another. Feedback can be verbal or non-verbal. Feedback is essential to the communication process. It acknowledges the presence of the other person, lets the communicator know the message was received, and demonstrates that communication is valued. And lastly, the noise. Noise is anything that interrupts communicators from encoding, sending, receiving, or decoding a message properly. There are three types of noises: physical, personal, and semantic. Personal noise is anything external, from loud construction sounds outside a window to a bug flying around your head at an outdoor concert. Personal noise refers to the ongoing thoughts in our minds. And third type of noise is semantic noise. Semantic noise occurs when the person you are communicating with speaks a different language, uses technical jargon, and or resorts to emotionally charged words. The communication process consists of many parts. To be an effective communicator, you must make appropriate choices as you become aware of how each part influences the others. And now the types of communication. There are four basic types of communication. Intrapersonal communication, that is communicating within yourself. Second is interpersonal communication, communicating with another person. Number third is the small group communication, that is communicating with 3 to 20 people who have a common goal. Number fourth is public communication, communicating with a large audience. When we mentally review or rehearse conversations or experiences, we are engaging in intrapersonal communication. Think how often you do this. Before you meet with your professor, do you think about what you are going to say? When your alarm goes off in the morning, do you ask yourself, if I hit the snooze button, I can give up the shower, sleep for another 18 minutes, and we are ahead? We communicate interpersonally when we meditate, reflect, and strategize. Interpersonal communication helps us to be in tune with ourselves, to practice important communication scenarios, to analyze everything around us, including our own actions, and to think critically about past and future events. In contrast to the internal dialogue of the intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication takes place when two people speak with one another. Can you remember the discussion you had with a classmate about the final exam in one of your classes? The complaints you shared with someone about your roommate? The person you smiled at in the cafeteria? We use interpersonal communication constantly to help create and maintain our relationships. Interpersonal communications become small group communication when the number of people increases. Generally, groups are defined as having 3 to 20 members. Group members share a sense of belonging and have common beliefs, goals, or reasons for getting together. Group members work together to accomplish tasks and our relationship goals. Teams are a type of small group. Teams work on tasks designed to accomplish a specific goal. And lastly, the public communication. Public communication occurs when a communicator informs, persuades, and or entertains a group of people. Speakers have an organized message and an official audience, and they prepare for the event. Typically, public communication comes in form of school assemblies, oral presentations, political speeches, a keynote address at a conference, and message delivered through electronic media. You should learn the skills for effective public speaking so that you will be prepared when opportunities arise in both your professional and personal life. Improving your communication skills takes time and dedication. It involves thinking before acting, making the best choices, and dealing with the consequences of those choices. So that's all in this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you think this video is helpful for you in any way, please consider subscribe my YouTube channel so that I can create more videos like this. If you have any comment or query, you can write in the comments below.